morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us today. It is Friday, the 25th of February 2022. Glad you found time to be with us today. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in. My name is Miriam Ogutu, and the show is Unfiltered, where we get to bring you the week that was, the things that made headlines across Kenya and indeed across the continent of Africa and global, as right now the world is facing as an imminent war that has been brewing and now has started there through Russia and the Ukraine. So that is something also we shall be looking at after we look at our main stories today. Thank you so much. So with me in the studio is Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam. Thank you very much for this occasion this morning. This is a great day for the entire world. It's a sad day for the people of Ukraine. As we start today, this morning, bombshells and bombs and bombs and shells fell on Ukraine. But did we see this coming? We saw it coming. It came. People did not. Helplessly, they watched as Russia kept on advancing. The worst thing that the Western countries do, and I want to be very honest, I am a non-aligned movement. I'll stand NAM, N-A-M. And my founding fathers of this organization, please forgive me when I find you. Don't be ashamed. I continue with the work that you are doing as non-aligned movement. These two countries, at night they talk. Publicly, they draw us into the war. For us, we are just used as a fighting ground. They bring tension. They tell us to sit down and negotiate, but they can't negotiate. These countries have refused to give us a United Nations permanent seat. We are just bystanders, non-rotational. However good English you speak in that organization, whether Kimani, whether who, that's not what we want. Africa does not want that. And I'm speaking frankly, practically, and very authoritatively as an African. We want a permanent seat in the United Nations so that we can reject some of these things outright. Because Russia, China, America, Britain, and another country, 5 of them, these are permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. They have veto. They can veto and say no. So now, for them to allow this war to come escalate until they arrive at us, to ask us whether in Africa, what do you want? They are creating us a second syndrome of a world Cold War that we ran away from, which made us have coups in this continent. We are not involved. But we support the people of Ukraine. They have their sovereignty. Their sovereignty as a nation of United Nations, yes. But when it comes to this discussion, why can't they engage each other? America to engage Russia. Heaping sanctions on Russia. For me, Miriam, I'm sorry. Russia is going to cripple our markets. They will come down. Economy is very bad at the moment. If you bring in sanctions to Russia, Russia will retaliate. Russia can manipulate the elections of the United States. Up to now, we have a case in the Supreme Court of the United States whether Russia manipulated Mr. Trump to come to power or Mr. Biden was doing business with Russia. You had the point, or Clinton. You know, we have a problem here, man. And we are not going to sit here and be used as just, playing ground. The grass is suffering. It's Africa. And African countries must be very careful to choose where to go how to go, and when to return. Russia is able to dismember your servers. This is election, we have to wake up and say my election. They will dismember, I swear, in favor of the candidate they want. Be careful. Don't go. Let's be non-aligned. I am not saying I hate. I'm not opposing anybody's foreign policy. I don't make foreign policy. I have no country that I'm the only country that I subscribe which makes a foreign policy has already made a decision. They have a nuclear weapon. Does Africa have a nuclear weapon? Show me one country in Africa which has a nuclear weapon. Jamen. Let's not. We don't have a nuclear weapon. Britain has a nuclear weapon. Kama Russia nasukuma, Britain nasukuma. Sasa sisi tunasukuma ni na yield saliva. Medium, you have made your stand. You have made a decision. Thank you. But, believe me or not, my sister, it is very important for us to tell the truth. The founding fathers of these nations, Jomo Kenyatta, Nyerere, Milton Obote, Emperor Haile Selassie, Gabriel Nasser, Patrice Lumumba, Luka Demeni, Kwame Nkrumah, Benabera, Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Marshal Tito, Fidel Castro. I'm naming them. We are non-aligned. They formed a force that forced America and Russia to talk. Remember the 1962 crisis, October crisis of 1962, when F. Kennedy sent American troops across the Caribbean to the Cuba, dismantled the base of the Russians. There you are. This is a repeat. What is good for the is there? Now, there are people who don't understand this conflict and they just yap around. And the African countries must watch, listen to intellectuals who have read the subject of international relations, who understand. You can compare. I don't want to know. I don't want to tell an African country that go this side or go that side. I want to speak as a non-aligned movement. I'm non-aligned. I follow what Obote, Nkrumah, Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, how they survived, these boys. They survived these boys because they spoke the truth. I said to Dewey, we have brought a problem here in Miriam. And the viewers, we have brought another problem on the continent. We are bringing it slowly. It is coming. When you tell me that you should not support America, why? Doesn't Africa have the eyes to see that you have bombed the people in Kiev? We should keep quiet and laugh with you. Those people you are killing, why don't you go and kill each other direct? Now, also on this side, when you tell me that we should not support Russia, why are you taking missiles there? The main reason why Russia has got this problem is they have brought the latest. They are facing few kilometers away from Leningrad, few kilometers away from Moscow. This is the same problem that made F. Kennedy to send the Marines to dismantle the Cuban crisis. If there is anybody who has anything in these classes telling people lies on TV, that is the truth. J.F. Kennedy sent Americans to go to Caribbeans to dismantle Russian missiles because Russia threatened to install Kubrenev. What is his name? Kurunev something? Khrushchev. I know their names, Russians, are very complicated. President was very categorical that he wants to defend Cuba. The Cuban crisis. I want everybody, the students, the people on social media, the people watching us, the people listening to us. We are not against America. We are not against Russia. We are for peace. We want these guys to sit down, solve their problem, neutralize each other, the way they have done on North Korea. Is North Korea throwing missiles again? Trump went there and met that short guy. I think it's the shortest president I have ever seen on planet Earth, who walks like he's about to fall, but he's very strong. And they sat down, they ate popcorns, they noodles, and ate North Korean snake, you know, in wine. It's a very good snake, and I know Miriam doesn't like to hear the snake issue. It's a very good snake in North Korea. Some of us who passed there know how good it is. So the situation is, and I repeat, is let's be very positively neutral. Positive neutrality is the essence that I learned from Nyerere. Positive criticism. If you want to be a good man, a good youth, a good person on planet Earth, positive neutrality. Stand, criticize positively. Whether you are in a political party opposition, criticize the government positively. Why opposition parties in Africa, Miriam, collapse is none of them criticizes positively. Why have not joined the Uganda opposition led by Chagulanyi anymore or anywhere? Because they are not positive.
You mean constructive criticism?
Okay. Positive, constructive criticism.
Because I'm criticizing you because I want you to do better.
Better.
Not because I hate you.
Well, thank you, Miriam. Change this.
Yeah.
Because you have added the word that was like missing. You know, I've started on a high gear. And thank you very much, ma'am, for adding that word. Positive, constructive criticism, neutrality. You are a leader of opposition. They bring you Uduma number. You say it is very bad.
Not leader of opposition, deputy president.
Yeah, you are deputy president of Kenya. They bring, now you are traveling to the United States for the last time. If the deputy president goes to United States after April 1st, at the end of April 30th, you get my point? Walaya Mungu, you won't have. You want to enter the US, they don't want to know your passport. They just want to look at the Uduma number. But the deputy president in Kenya here is telling people Uduma number is very bad. Is it Kibicho's product? Is it CG Matianga's product? Silly. It's not positive, constructively engaging the government. He has become an opposition himself. This question of Russia, look at the historical perspective. Historically, Ukraine fell under Russia. The 1942 and 24, after Lenin collapsed, he has died. Where was the border? Ukraine passed. There are countries there that live very peacefully with Russia. And they have accepted. They don't have any problem. Finland. Does Finland have communism? Why do we go back to break what we created as UN? I'm just reasoning like a Fidel Castro would have reasoned, like Nyerere, like Obote, like Jomo Kenyatta. Today, Jomo Kenyatta would have said, staki maneno hiyo. Staki kuingia kwa maneno hizo. Mimi nakuwa in the middle. I am here Pan-African. My international relations medium is blended with Pan-Africanism. When I was studying it in London Guildhall University and Canterbury, I blended it with Pan-Africanism, the sharpness of Pan-Africanism. I cannot surrender except Mugabe to be eaten by men who went and colonized him, then grabbed his land. Then you want me to side with them. I lost the job. I'm now telling people here officially, I lost the job in the Foreign and the Commonwealth Office with Mr. Robin Cook. I was Robin Cook's intern. I was going to be the PA in charge of Africa policy. But when Tony Blair turned on Zimbabwe and said they will isolate Mugabe, I said bye-bye. Am I not surviving, Mr. Tony Blair? You are the one looking for contracts in Africa. I'm not. But I told you the truth. In Brighton Delegates Conference, we've lost. Zimbabwe. China will do a damage on us. China will take over Zimbabwe, hasn't it? Is Zimbabwe not selling diamonds to China? Is Zimbabwe not, are we not losing as British? We are losing diamonds going to China. Direct flights. If you look at what Mnangagwa has done in Zimbabwe today, forget, they are just going there to say human rights. But human rights people are eating. The buses have come back on the road. The buses in Zimbabwe, the cars in Zimbabwe are not in Kenya. The type of cars Zimbabweans drive down there, in fact, very soon, all our women from Uganda, Kenya, we shall lose them to Zimbabweans with the type of cars, because some of the younger generation today like those push cars. This is a Friday. And I'm talking the truth here. From experience, my damn Miriam. It is there. The type of cars Zimbabweans drive is not the type of ministers of Kenya here. They are of these cars. V8, CGA. No! Yeah. They have bought them. The roads, the buses that they were brought, over 3,000 buses lined up. Zupco is back. They stopped. Those days, Zimbabwe was made like a colony forever. So the white people in Zimbabwe made it so nice that when you stand at 8 o'clock, the car is there. Even if it is empty, it has gone. Even now, Zimbabweans don't bypass a traffic light. They have a different way of behavior. We kill people on traffic lights here in Kenya. Apa. Now Uganda. The only thing that Museveni has done in Uganda is traffic. If traffic stops you and you refuse, he shoots you. Shoots the tires. So you go and lose the tires, you go to police, and then you pay, you repay. That is what is happening in Africa. So when you want to analyze this thing of Russia, and I was listening to President Biden, Joe Biden yesterday. Last night, I was very disappointed. He's speaking as if where is he going? He's hiding in a hole. He's saying, I'm putting sanctions targeting. The journalists asked him, why don't you put them now? Why don't you now put Mr. Putin on the blacklist of visa? He said, we are not doing it now. So you are lying to us, causing us chaos, so that we support you. You see how much we like you, then you go and tell them, no, we are almost going to put sanctions, but we have forgiven you. Now remove this. Don't use us as pawns. Neutrality. That's what Indira Gandhi, Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sheikh Mujibu Rahman, Benazia Bhutto, Zulufiki Bhutto. These are the men who stood up. Militon Obote, Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, Haile Selassie, Patrice Lumumba, Nkrumah, Governor Nasa, Benabera, Sekou. They said, you shall belong in the Nine movement. It had a lot of members. One, it is still there, but nobody has activated it. This time now has come for us to activate it. Time has come for us to activate it so that we are safe. Did you know that? This world without that pressure, we are done. The way things are going, these Americans and the Russians are taking us to a third world war. Imagine a very mad person just releases one nuclear head. Soon, planes in the bullet, those that pass, everybody is passing different routes. Already, the impact is coming, Miriam. So for me, I want you, when you look at this current crisis, people have died, we condemn those actions. We stand with countries that have condemned. But I advise Africa to be very careful, not to be drawn. Very soon, one of these countries is coming to your country to say, well, do you know you support the other side? I'm overthrowing you. Haki. Do you know that? You put your money here.
All right, Doc. Allow me to go through quickly the headlines, and then we'll continue. I see the show is already halfway gone, but let me bring us up to date by going through the headlines this morning. On the Standard newspaper, the main headline, Sagana, 3 aftershocks after Uhuru's Wednesday blistering attack. His men line up an intense campaign plan to clip Ruto's wings in Mount Kenya, even as the DP's Kenya Kwanza Alliance plots counter-attack that avoids head-on response to president. The story is on page 4, 6, and 7 on the Standard newspaper. And then the main pictorial of Russian fire rains down on Ukraine. That is on page 10 and 11. Outrage after new 100 million Kenya shillings bridge in Kajiado collapses. You'll find that on page 25. And Kalonzo allies set to join Azimio. Raila in Azimio, that is on page 8. City Hall silent over auction, that is on page 23. On the Daily Nation, the main headline, Prophet or Project, and how did he get here? Raila Amolo Odinga. Opposition, Doyen Jaramogi inherited, the son of opposition leader Jaramogi inherited the rebellious streak of his father and has kept the flame of dissidence burning over 4 decades. And the story continue. The story is on page 4 and 5. Ruto answers Uhuru. The deputy president downplays Kenyatta's endorsement of his main rival Odinga as inconsequential to his chances of winning this year's presidential election. You'll find that on page 12 and 13. And just up there, Kenya's stakes in Ukraine war. Maybe Doctor already has started explaining that. We'll get deeper into that. The Daily Nation has that story on page 2 and 3. Kenya banned indefinitely by FIFA over government interference. That is on page 51. And then we go to the Star newspaper. Why Uhuru move is Ruto's new headache. DP steers clear of confrontation with president after Sagana 3 attack. The story is on page 4 and 5. And One Kenya Alliance deal with Raila in the offing as Azimio crystallizes. And then student who killed 10 in Moi Girls' Dome, fire jailed just 5 years. That is on page 9. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers this morning. And perhaps let me introduce the rest of our panelists this morning. We are joined by Daniel Wesunga, our correspondent from Nairobi. Daniel, a very good morning to you.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Miriam Okutu, at our headquarters in Nairobi. Good morning to Dr. Matsanga David. Good morning to our viewers here in Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa, and the rest of the world. Indeed, it is my pleasure to join the Unfiltered show this particular Friday.
All right, nice to have you. And we're also joined by Douglas Kirimi from Meru County. Douglas, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to Dr. David Matsanga, and also to my friend Sean Wesonga, and our friends across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where they're watching us from. Thank you for having me on the show, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. So I guess the show's already started. We're halfway there, so we just continue and talk from where we stopped here.
I think I hijacked it. I'm sorry, Miriam. I hijacked it. And thank you very much, my man. We are here. Can you see us now? Yes. And I hijacked Miriam. I forgot that Miriam had not given the permission for me to go on slot. But this thing has been sleeping on my heart. I felt I should come out to explain. Go back in 1962, October 1962, when U.S. was going to kill anybody in the Caribbean. J.F. Kennedy, the late, sent troops to Cuba. His purpose was to destroy anybody who was standing around that area. And he dismantled the Cuban crisis. He removed it. He said, you touch anything, you put any battery here, missile or no missile, we shall kill you. The Russians withdrew, former Soviet Union, USSR, withdrew and went back home. The crisis today, 2022, here, it has returned. NATO, why is NATO fighting in Ukraine? What are they doing in Ukraine? It's a frontier. So when you bring sophisticated, the latest arms, sophisticated, to point me in my house, and anytime if one goes off, it will arrive by sitting room. That's why Russia is having, let's have that background, then we start reasoning properly with people. That there is a serious scenario of that. Now, invasion of Ukraine is condemned. We condemn it. We condemn it. The killing of 151 people, that is not the way. The United Nations Security Council should have seriously dropped all things and concentrated to stop this invasion. Persuaded Russia to come on the table.
But there has been talks. They've been trying to reach out the last couple of months.
But the talks which are skewed, medium towards against Russia will not attend. If you look at the way Joe Biden was addressing Russia and saying, we have put sanction X, we have put another one. What about tomorrow Russia switches off the gas? You know Russia is going to switch off gas.
Well, Germany will suffer most because 40%
have you seen Germany talk?
Comes from Russia.
No, have you seen the Germany people talk?
40% of its gas
most
comes
of
from Russia.
Those countries, they have said, well, no, we are not involved. Russia will switch off the gas. In Britain, we shall be, in fact, the families will be repatriated to Mombasa. We shall not have enough gas. We shall not have, I swear, we shall not have gas for cooking. If they start the way they are cooking, they are starting, it could switch off the pipeline. Because for this young man, for this other gentleman of KGB, well-trained officer, who grew up, who saw Gorbachev, studied the anthropological difficulties of Putin, he saw Gorbachev destroy their culture. He was KGB. He stood up in KGB, became one of the most toughest officers. He took over Russia, built a kingdom. George Soros stole his money. George Soros. You know the problem between Britain. You know why are we fighting a war of the Americans? They have hidden George Soros, who is overthrowing governments. Where did George Soros get the money? He got the money from Russia. He went to Russia and sold Coca-Cola, McDonald's, KFC. Do you know? They gave him everything. He carried it. George Soros cannot move out of his city and his office, because Russia has a warrant of arrest. for George Soros? Do some Kenyans here who are yapping, do they know? Or Ugandans, do they know? Some Ugandans are on the mail here, yes. Do you know? Do you know why are we fighting proxy war for someone? It's George Soros. Isn't it the same George Soros who's calling Mudavadi to go to US? To go and sit on the sideline and give Mudavadi money to come and dismember Uhuru Kenyatta? Isn't it so? What is Mudavadi going there? Why didn't Ruto go with Rigathi? Is it because Rigathi has no English? Yeah, he doesn't know English.
And we are told Rigathi is not very happy with that.
Rigathi, I tell you, don't leave your former master who gave you even the money you are proud of. At least Uhuru helped you. But this boy is a mafia. He's going to there. Ruto is going to UK to plead with George Soros so that a warrant of arrest does not arise. Because George Soros commands the ICC center point. Mimi wacha niwaambie wa Kenya muwache kuzungumiza gossip. Mjue hata what is happening in the ICC. Photographs ziko huko, mjamaa alisimama alipatia pesa. Sasa utasema hii photograph hapana yangu na video. Nani alifanya? Huyu mjamaa atashikwa. Miriam, that's why Mudavadi now is the kingmaker who knows these guys. Come, let's go to London. Oh, we are going to for this period. There is a conference here. Which conference? That is going to see our Bishop of Canterbury. I am going to petition. I am a member of the Synod of you know, Ruto will never escape me. By now, in fact, I'm a member of my church. I go to the annual delegates conference here, Church of England. Nakaanga huko. So naandika barua as a resident of Croydon that there is a thief coming to meet a bishop. Ako na mikono ya uizi. Wazungu can take it very seriously. Did you know that, Miriam? But I don't want to do those things.
Okay, he might take some good offering there. You know, he's a good giver.
Yeah, he's trying to see the bishop, to taint our bishop with the hands of stolen money with Kenyans. That he wants there to be cleansed by the bishop. We are going to petition. We are going to tell the churches in UK that guy coming to meet the Archbishop of Canterbury in Lambeth Palace, he has a problem. Tutamwekea demonstration. Me, Matsanga, those days I was very bad. Miriam, maybe I've grown old. But in those days, even Museveni knows, I could bring 5,000 Ugandans on the streets of London mpaka Museveni anapitia kwa window ngine huko nyuma. Hey! I will go back. I wish God gave me another 30 years back. Uyu Ruto should have people demanding so many things that he fears even traveling around that place again.
Very well, and as we continue with that, yesterday, speaking of Deputy President William Ruto, after that Sagana 3 meeting where President Uhuru Kenyatta opened up and spoke so much and perhaps made the country understand where they fell off between him and his deputy president. Yesterday, the DP in his campaigns was very careful not to answer back, as has been the norm, what President said the other day. I'll start with you, Douglas Kirimi. Why do you think Deputy President William Ruto has taken on this new approach? Well, we know he did not have a problem taking on President Kenyatta head on, even in the past couple of weeks that we've been seeing him on this campaign trail.
Thank you, Miriam. I think that the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya did not expect at any given time that His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to be fully involved in the management of the affairs of this nation, especially on his succession issues. I also believe that William Ruto thought using money, he was able to manipulate the people of Kenya and at least be able to sell fear, including to so many leaders in this country and the people of Mount Kenya. And he thought the President of the Republic of Kenya and devote such political nonsense, in quote, that William Ruto has been tendering for over 4 years now, Miriam. One problem that I've come to realize that the William Ruto did not be able to envisage, he could not be able to foresee it as it was coming, is that whatever has been happening for the last 4 years, the maraining of the name of the president, saying that the president has not done anything in this country, and all manner of things in this country, media. I believe he did not be able to envisage or foresee that it will take the president less than a week or maybe a day to be able to outdo or maybe undo everything that he has been able to be he was pending around the region and especially Mount Kenya. Miriam, the people, over that 1,000 people, the president had invited 5,000 people in the meeting at Sagana, but over that 1,000 people showed up. All that 1,000 people, it took 25 minutes of the secretary of the presidential delivery unit, a video presentation, and demo was given to the people, and the people watched what the transformative agenda the president has been on for the last 4 years, and they couldn't be able to resist, Miriam, the charm of the president of the Republic of Kenya across Mount Kenya region. And I believe the pain in the heart of William Ruto is that now the president is coming in the grassroots, he is coming to where the heart of the people are in the Mount Kenya region, and he is undoing what he has been able to spend billions of money. He wishes that he should have spent that money in Northeastern or other places in this country. But Miriam, I'm sorry to report that the people of Mount Kenya required the only voice of the president saying that this man is not fit for office. I am going for Raila Odinga, and these are my reasons. And I believe the president has not exhausted the very reasons why we should not vote for William Ruto. The missiles, the political missiles, will continue being thrown from the mountain of God. And William Ruto is going to suffer so much political consequences. And when William Ruto stands on top of a car, and maybe from a sunroof of a car, and tells the people of Kenya, I have no problem, it is the democratic right of the President of the Republic of Kenya for him to be able to choose the path that he wants to choose politically and endorse anyone that he would want to endorse, and then goes ahead to say it is inconsequential, Miriam. That's double speak. He says from one side of his mouth, or the other side of his mouth says that this is inconsequential, but he says he has no problem. If you have no problem with it, that's the one vote the president said that yes, and the capacity that he has as the president of the Republic of Kenya, and also our Mount Kenya leader, to be able to direct the people that he can to vote for Raila Odinga. I believe, Miriam, and truly believe from my heart, that Deputy President William Ruto fears and continues fearing the unknown that will come from the very mouth of the president directing his people on where to vote for. I think William Ruto knows that his political gains for the last 4 years have been washed away, and they will continue being washed away until he is politically decimated forever. And I believe that today, at the Delegates Conference of the Jubilee Party of Kenya, and tomorrow, we are going to seal the political fate of William Ruto completely from the mountain of corn, and especially this country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel Wesonga. Deputy President William Ruto on Thursday tactfully dodged a verbal confrontation with President Uhuru Kenyatta, saying he accepts his decision to back Raila Odinga's presidency. I mean, President Kenyatta was not really seeking for his approval, but he says he accepts that. Why do you think he did not take on President Uhuru Kenyatta as he has been doing in the recent past?
Thank you so much, Miriam Ogutu, and I agree with my brother that that William Ruto's ambition to State House seems to have been deflated by President Uhuru Kenyatta's actions or take to be involved in Raila Odinga's campaigns, and also just supporting him through his Jubilee Party. You know, these are people who have worked together. Each and every one of them knows the other's ability and capabilities. And you understand that before URP teamed up with TNA, URP did not quite bustle the muscle that the Jubilee Party came to be known for. It was the TNA's energy and money that turned around fortunes for President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. And that is why you heard the other day President Uhuru Kenyatta in Sagana 3 say that this is a man I brought on board, and despite being that he did not do much of the work, we contributed 70% or 80% of these campaigns. I gave him 50% of the government. So therefore he knows his goose is cooked, Miriam. And the humility you saw yesterday is of a man who has realized that perhaps he's going nowhere. He's actually fighting a losing battle, and therefore I believe he's in a state of dilemma, and that is why he did not attack the president on his declaration that he's going to work with the former prime minister, and he's actually going to support him and actually vote for him. So to me, I believe this is a man who is fear-stricken, and that is the reality of the matter. The rest of the Tanga group can continue saying how uninfluential the president is, but soon reality is going to catch up with them. Today we have the Jubilee party's NDC, and over the weekend we're going to have a joint NDC between ODM and Jubilee, where Azimio Azimio La Umoja party is going to be born, and that will be the beginning of the journey that will see Raila Odinga succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta in the August poll. And that also will mark the end of William Ruto's political journey. And like the president says, if he reforms and chooses a path of unity and building Kenya and desists from participating in corruption, then we might reconsider getting back our support. But for now, I believe the president has suspended that until further notice, and that is the reality of the matter. So, Miriam, to answer your question, I believe the low mood and the loss of gas from Deputy President's vibrant rallies is actually a sign that he's actually feeling the heat of the Sagana 3 meeting, and he's actually losing some momentum because of that, because he understands that President Uhuru Kenyatta is actually a terrific organizer and a very, very shrewd politician when it comes to strategy. And watch this space, Miriam. Look at the Jubilee Party on how it is planning its reactivation programs across the grassroots counties. You will really be surprised that in August polls, Jubilee will actually garner more seats than UDA, and it might be actually come out as a party with the more political seats nonetheless. So this is just the beginning, and you can see the kind of heat that William Ruto is feeling. So that is the reality of the matter, Miriam, from the Sagana 3.
Okay, thank you so much. And Doc, still on this matter, we know, Moses Kuria said something the other day that we were discussing on Sunday after his Thanksgiving service, that majority of the leadership of UDA did not really show up, and he said, stop insulting our leader, Mount Kenya leader, stop insulting our president. And of course, we know he is the first person, especially from President Uhuru Kenyatta's backyard, who has been insulting President Kenyatta. But what Moses Kuria was saying, perhaps, is this a representation of the majority of people from Mount Kenya who have been feeling as though, DP has been attacking their leader for a while now. So maybe after seeing all these people trooping to Sagana the other time, he realized maybe I need to change tact. Or is it what President Uhuru Kenyatta said during that meeting that, if he behaves, maybe later on we might support him? Why do you think, the Deputy President has adopted this new approach? And how long do you even think it will last?
The Deputy President is a besieged man. He's besieged. He has a myriad of problems, huge problems, internally and externally. I don't think we are talking to the right man. The Deputy President is like a Putin today. If they are putting sanctions on you, you don't know what, you can't trade in a dollar. The economy will collapse. You think of what? Actually, the state in which the Deputy President is in, he can kill. Such people in Britain are put on watch list because he's not stable mind. Here is a man who started a war and who took people to the president's backyard to insult the president. And the president told him, please, don't, just keep quiet. Go and, slowly, let's do projects. Then the people will see Jubilee has delivered and hand you over power, And you carry power, you carry on if you want. Here is a man whose friend, the president, came. They were wearing the same shirts, the same everything, vests. I don't know whether he used to call and say, wear vest number E. Size, which size, Muse? Were you wearing the same? Not me, not you. Here is the deputy president who was given all leeway to manage the ministries, where he got people, even he got Mr. Paul Gicheru, his former mafia man, who was killing witnesses in this country, tampering with witnesses, poking witnesses' eyes. The truth is going to come out. You are going to see. And they gave him a job as the chairman of procurement board. So they went and sourced procurement tenders. Gicheru was sourcing tenders and telling Ichungwa increases the budget. Duale moves a motion. Have you seen these people are played with you Kenyans? Allah? Duale is the mover of the motion.
He was the leader of the majority then.
Yes, leader of majority moves a motion. Ichungwa increases supplementary budget. Projects are earmarked. Mafia, the big man they are looking for in government, called Ruto, says how much is in the Kenya pipeline. Managing director Kenya pipeline is Mr. Ruto's hand-picked man, because he's the one running the ministry. Kateru, the man of Kericho, is the minister of industry to place people in the places.
So it is during when, and our viewers have to understand, when Duale was the leader of the majority, this debt ceiling they keep talking about right now, it was increased under their watch.
Under their watch.
And their leadership.
And who moved the motion to increase the amount of money? Duale. Why didn't Duale with his conscience refuse? Medium. Because they wanted to use it later on. Who increased the supplementary budget to pay?
It was under their watch.
Ichungwa. Ichungwa was the chairman of the budget committee. After Musimi left. Who was the chairman of the procurement board of Kenya? Paul Lawyer Gicheru. The man standing trial in the ICC. Evidence. Go and read the back notes of ICC. Don't ask me how we do read them. I can teach you privately. You will find his phone was taken. These are all the things coming out now. They are going to come. So, when Kenyans turn on Uhuru Kenyatta and say, lower the prices, and the Duale comes to national TV, Ichungwa comes, Ruto is quiet. Ruto is not talking about lowering the prices. Have you heard him talk about lowering the prices?
But the fact that he had the audacity to stand there with this group, and yet he is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and he felt him standing there was a good thing. I think even for his supporters, that did not make any kind of sense at all.
My dear, it doesn't, and it will not make sense. I have told you, if I were a Kenyan, the first time I would even walk with my placard. I said, Ruto, I will not give you my vote. Ruto let down the president. Ruto undermined the president. Ruto killed the presidency, tried to kill the legacy of Uhuru Kenyatta. Fortunately, it is us. We people, we have kept faith with Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm not saying us, only me. Many people, many of us. Media, give me a credit. I've never waffled. On Uhuru Kenyatta, I've never. Even if I have been insulted, he has never given me even a cup of tea to drink coffee with him. But I support him. I support him fully. Because, you know, he has views, he has ideas, he sees very far. Look at the way he's handling Africa. It is the war in Ethiopia is coming to an end because of Uhuru Kenyatta. It's a quiet. He opened the border. Do I need money from Kenyatta when he has opened the border between Rwanda and Uganda? My trucks are coming. They will come within a few days, a few months. Tutakuwa na pesa hapa mingi. So why do I need money from him? No, you don't need to go there. We are poor, but he did it at silent diplomacy. The border between Rwanda and Uganda is now open. Traffic is going in. Kenyans are taking their goods there. Some are coming in. That is very good. He's a man with a vision. Me, I will never let him down. I will never change from here. Even if Ruto brings 200 million, I don't want to have it. I have did nothing or little. Whatever I've been given, Jesus, Son of God, I am a Christ. I'm a sinner. Help me.
And speaking about sinning, I think for the DP allies who have been able to respond to this, the speech President Uhuru Kenyatta made in the Sagana meeting the other day, a majority of them are criticizing the part where President Kenyatta called out some religious leaders. And let me just read one of the quotes here. From Kindiki, he said, "We are asking the president to kindly respect clergymen, respect the church. You can abuse our fellow politicians, but respect church leaders," he said. Douglas Kirimi, why do you think this is the only part that they want to highlight?
Before Douglas comes in on Kindiki, is it Kindiki?
Yes.
Kindiki and Murkomen. And Douglas, let me arm you with this because you come from the same area with Kindiki. We went to Addis Ababa in front of Sheraton Hotel. Murkomen, Kindiki, and J. Munturi. Sasa time ya kuambiana ukweli. The president told Murkomen and Kindiki and J. Munturi to look after me. Umesikia hiyo? These two gentlemen went and drew money. They were drawing money every month. Kindiki huyo muizi huyo na Murkomen. Why is it? If they are lawyers, let them sue me, then I have the records where they used to draw money in my name. So Kindiki anasema nini? What does he say? He's stupid. And then he for 2 years he has been drawing money. That's a leader of opposition. A leader of a deputy leader of the Senate. Was it Senate or something? What was he? Who was who and who? They drew money in my name. Oh, Matanga is going to this. Oh, him. Let him say Matanga is lying. And I bring a letter from the lawyer. I will answer him, then we go to court. I'm ready for these guys this time. These are the people who have gone and spoiled the politics of this nation. Church leaders have been taking money, surely. What did the Ruto say? What did the president say which is wrong? He said, please, don't take money, then preach it to people and confuse people. Is that a wrong statement? What a church leader? Some of these church leaders have helicopters. Do you have a helicopter? Do you have a helicopter? They kuambia kuja Sunday, leta pesa. Some of these churches on Sunday, me, I'm a Christian, and a Christian from Anglican Church of England, which is the Anglican Church of Kenya. I will never go to this guitar singing church. Hallelujah. Look at the people who go there. Women, men, look at them. All of them, the hair, the women, they cause more suicide for their husbands because they have to buy a new cloth for Sunday. Me, I go with my old cloth. Whoa. Even I look for the old shirt. Look, go to the saloons. Today's Friday. I've done research. You'll find bishops, all of them cleaning hair. As if, What church is this are you talking about? Is this the church? They receive the money, Miriam. That's why they are used to Ruto. Ruto coming with money and anawapatia. A church, a bishop who is drinking with you up to 4 a.m. dancing with you disco in on a shipai, on the floor of a shipai nightclub. Yes. Sasa anakuja anakuambia wewe usiende kwa nightclub, utoke uingie saa 8. Bibi yako lazima ukwe na bibi yako nyumbani. He's in the nightclub. You just left it this morning with me, sir.
Very well.
Can I tell you another thing before Douglas comes in? Bishops wanatuambia usipende bibi ya mwezi yako. Yeye anapenda yako ndani. Some of them are doing these things. Some of these churches are not doing a good thing. I know. Tuambiane ukweli. Ngine zinafanya kazi, ngine hapana. How can a church tell people to take off their underwears? That before you receive a miracle, Jesus, when these miracles were coming, let me know to come. But you don't mean not to take off my underwear in order to receive a miracle. No. Wala. Tuambiane ukweli. Some of these churches, Kagame has done very well. A bishop must have a degree. But you cannot just go to school of your smaller school.
No, a lot of them have not even gone to theology school.
You can just go to theology and read theology on cross, on what is it called? Virtual, the computer. The theological school is in America na wakumpatia degree 1, degree 2, degree 3, unakuja hapo unatuambia bishop. So now Bishop Wanjiri is bishop, surely. That Bishop Wanjiri is bishop mwenye anatukana watu. Have you ever seen a bishop who insults people?
All right, Douglas, why do you think of everything else that the president said during the Sagana 3 meeting? The issue with the clergy is what some of these politicians have chosen to ride on. Why are they so sensitive about that? And what did the president say in that speech that perhaps felt as though he was attacking the clergy?
Thank you, Miriam. And the people in Tanga movement today, all the functions that support the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, all the people that are in UDA, the United Democratic Alliance, led by none other than the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. These people are not foolish, Miriam. They are not foolish. They know when you touch religion, it's something that can divide people in the middle, including in marriages or relationships. Politics, your political alignment is not something or a subject that you can be able to discuss with your spouse and not disagree. So they know the very fulcrum they can use, or the center stage of the duel that the president opened at Sagana 3 meeting can only be won when you come together and gang up with rogue pastors and rogue bishops across the nation and be able to manipulate and brainwash the people of Kenya that this president is very ungrateful. This president that we elected is also insulting our pastors and all that. They ignored every other part because it would have political consequences for them when they respond to that. But they know that when you use religion among the people, religion is said to be the opium of the masses. And that's where most of the people draw the line. And that's why they have picked that point so that they can be able to draw the point and be able to put it on the president that he hates churches and pastors and bishops in this country, that he calls them corrupt people who have been receiving corrupt funds, and also people that are of no good moral standing. But Miriam, we need to interrogate this position that the president took the other day. The president spoke for the very majority of people in this country. Why do I say so? I know because our church, the Catholic Church of Kenya, the Roman Catholic Church in Kenya, rejected corrupt crossings of that have been brought to the church before, and also bishops receiving briefcases of money that was meant for the people of Reagio Marakwet, for the people of Aurora and Kimwarel, including where the Minister for Finance at that time, Dr. Henry Rotich, came from. He came from, Mr. Kiprono Henry Rotich came from the Kimwarel village, where they have been able to steal damn money the President of the Republic of Kenya spoke about. And when they want to do that, they will take the money in gunning bags and take it to churches and clean that money. If they clean that, what is popularly known as wash, they will take it back and continue using these corrupting proceeds, using corrupt bishops. Our church, the Catholic Church of Kenya, said that they are not going to receive student funds again, and if you have corrupt money, please keep it. And they were the first recipients of the same money, but they rejected it outrightly. And now we are at this position where the same politicians who have been using the churches as opium for wash business of cleaning money in this country, they have now come and turned it into a political tool so that they can continue brainwashing the people of Kenya. People of Kindiki's Kariba, people of Murkomen's Kariba. When Murkomen came to the fore in 2013 as a senator, and Kindiki became the senator for the Rakanidi, the first inaugural senator for the smaller county of the Rakanidi, the Honorable Gidure Kindiki. The professor himself, they belonged to a clique of young politicians who used to move around around our skies using choppers in what was termed as a sky team. This sky team was known to be preferring public resources and also stealing from dipping their hands into public coffers. When Miriam, the people of Kenya, were in need of roads, were in need of the SGL, they would approach government parastatals and every other sector that has been allocated money, and they'll pick kickbacks and they'll be flying across the country using choppers every weekend, campaigning for Dr. William Ruto since 2014. But when those corruption tabs were crossed, Miriam, the same people now have come out very bitterly. Kindiki himself cannot sustain a gubernatorial campaign using money that he has been splashing around since 2013, Miriam. The same man has now retreated to Kenya Kwisha Alliance or Kenya Kwanza Alliance, saying that now he cannot be able to campaign for the Tharaka Nithi gubernatorial seat. Now he wants to help William Ruto to accede to power. Whereas he knows the very reason why he is running away, Miriam, is no longer able to access the funds that he was speaking from the public and preferring the same and taking them to taking the funds to the churches and also receiving the same money back again and share the root with their master, Dr. William Ruto. Miriam, for them it is a shame for them to be able to sanitize corrupt and also a very bad element or rogue pastors in this country, Miriam. We have had pastors in this country and bishops, Miriam, who have preached the public, who have even preached the politicians in this country. They have taken money from us. They have even taken away our wives and girlfriends, Miriam. In this country, we need to sanitize our clergy people and also know the churches that we attend to, because, Miriam, some of these pastors are very wrong. Some have huge criminal cases in this country. Some have gunmen. Some of them who continue stealing in the name of God and also stealing from the poor masses in this country, Miriam. It was a caution by the President of the Republic of Kenya to some of these corrupt elements in this country, Miriam, to the people of Kindiki, Kariba, and Murkomen, who have been stealing in the name of the country of the Republic of Kenya, and whose, in behalf of the name of the President of the Republic of Kenya, they have been able to benefit, Miriam. Tell me, Miriam, which law in this country, who has never won a case, a single major or even a simple village case in this country, as a mansion in Karen, fries in choppers, and drives fuel gatherers in this country, except the Bwana Murkomen, a man with no known exploits in the legal profession that he was years a lawyer, Miriam. Today, a man who subscribes to nothing else but corruption, Miriam. It is a shame for our senator, our neighbor, Kithure Kindiki, to come and twist the words of the president and use it for political gain in this country, Miriam. It is a shame for Murkomen, people who have been flying around using the sky team, Miriam, stealing from the public in the name of development, Miriam, are men that are not ashamed of their past conduct and what they want to do in the future. It is a shame, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel Wesonga, on the same, and then we move on to another matter.
Thank you so much, Miriam Mogutu. And I truly agree with Dr. Matsanga David and my good brother Douglas Krimi Bundi that President Uhuru Kenyatta only happened to talk about the reality of the matter. You know, when you look at our churches here in Kenya, gone are the days when we used to have people like Bishop Alexander Muge. Gone are the days when we used to have the Timothy Enjoyers of this world and people who would speak boldly against maybe iniquities and atrocities in the society without being biased or maybe being coerced by the political circles. But the church today has been playing a very major role in actually laundering the money that has been proceeds of corruption. And President Uhuru Kenyatta is very right in what he says. Today, if you Google in your phone and you search about money, corruption, William Ruto, you will be surprised. Perhaps the photo that shows up is of William Ruto holding a brown envelope and giving some cash to us, a random church leader. And these are people who are preaching to the poor masses about salvation. These are people who are expected actually to call out on the corrupt individuals in society, but they are not doing so. Dr. Masanga talked about some preachers even owning a chopper. We've seen William Ruto buying even cars, top of the range cars for these church leaders. And you really wonder, where should be the priority? Should we help the poor people, elevate them from poverty to elevate them from poverty, or should we help the church leaders? Today, Miriam, we have so many rogue preachers who will tell their congregants that if you need maybe a car or maybe to buy a house, then you have to go and pray to God and be able to get that particular asset. But the contrary, when a preacher needs a car or a house, they actually hold a harambe in the church so that Christians contribute and be able to buy those particular assets. And even in the Bible, Miriam, when you go back in history, there's a time when Jesus stormed into a church, into the temple, and actually whipped the people who were there because the house of God had been turned into a place where money launderers and all kind of illicit business was occurring. So therefore, no one can really say that the president was out of order. We need to talk about reality. We need to talk about things that are happening in truth and being honest about the way our society is being taken. And therefore, if church leaders can be able to take money from an individual who has been accused of stealing from public coffers and go ahead to lie to them the way the government is bad and the way the president is actually fighting his deputy, then it's a really sorry state of affairs, Miriam. And I believe these are the same sentiments even that the wife to the former Prime Minister, Mama Aida Odinga, said some few weeks ago that we need regulation in our churches. No one will just wake up one morning and start a kiosk church and preach to people and be able to get congregants, whereas we do not have regulations, because that opens a loophole where we have rogue preachers who concentrate more on collecting money from Kenyans, preachers who scam their congregants, and preachers who do not preach in accordance with the gospel. Dr. Masanga talked about people learning from fake universities or maybe non-existent theology colleges and coming here to lie to you that they are preachers, only for them to be able to defraud people of their monies, to be able to mislead the society and be able to gain from the same masses they tend to be shepherding towards religion. So to me, Miriam, I believe we need to be very much aware, and the church should come back and take up its role in ensuring that we have a proper society, a society that is not driven by corruption, a society that leaders does not accept leaders who lie to their people and derail development, a society that does not breed preachers who benefit and prey on their own congregants and make a living out of it.
Okay.
In the Bible, when you look, Miriam, Peter was a fisherman. We have people like Andrew, who was a fisherman, but was a tax collector. But if your pastor does not have any kind of job that they are doing apart from preaching, then those are thieves, Miriam. So to me, I don't think President Uhuru Kenyatta was out of order. The church ought to be on its alert so that it doesn't become party to money which has been laundered. Remember, even before being allowed to follow Jesus, Zacchaeus was told to return all the money that he has gotten through the proceeds of corruption and stealing from people he was collecting taxes from. And therefore, they should not accept this money which was meant to build dams and other development projects for the people of Kenya. I submit, Miriam.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well,
on the question of churches, and that's the point I want to make. In Britain, when Miriam have been listening to all of these arguments from Douglas to, and then added with Kindiki, When it comes to Sunday, on Saturday, after you have done your work, you have gone down to Tesco, you have washed your clothes, you have dusted your house. It's a very good day when you start walking towards church on Sunday in Britain. People feel, that's why there's a church service for 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 4. The whole day. You can choose which one you go to. You feel happy. But Miriam, in this place here, even you people who are staunch Christians,
I know, our churches also are like that.
Yes, okay, fine, you are lucky. Some of the people here feel burdened.
Yeah, for the evangelical churches, it's not like that.
Yeah, evangelical churches in this country, you feel burdened. What should I wear today? Hey, a woman is calling the other woman, can you give me your dress today to go with so that I look nice in the church? Which church is this? These churches have become a problem in Africa. In Britain, when you are going to church on Sunday, you feel so comfortable. When you come out, when they have given you that cup bread, the Holy Communion, the Holy Communion, unepata, you come back a very humbled man. You can pass one of those places, have dinner or lunch with your children, you are going home. Here is more or less like a burden at the moment. The way things are looking, they look like a burden, and they don't look as good as it is, that we should have had at all. Myself, the church here, I go to All Saints Church, and guess what? My preacher is Provost Wainaina. My preacher is Provost Wainaina. And what Provost Wainaina has done is one of the few people who has actually made life so difficult for people to go to All Saints Church. And what happens? He writes a letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta that he should look for Ruto to sit down and apologize. That's my provost. My provost of All Saints Church in Kenya. I said I will not go there again. So churches, churches in Africa burden people more than giving the spiritual nourishment that we need.
It's true. A lot of these churches, Doc, you're right. So when somebody talks like what Mama Ida said the other time, I don't think there's anything wrong with what she said, but you know.
No, I came up and defended her.
And a lot of forward-thinking Kenyans did the same, but I think a few, especially from a certain clique of political divide,
there is a bishop
we politicize everything.
There's a bishop called Ambuka. That bishop who polishes Uhuru Kenyatta, Ruto's shoes. If you touch Ruto and Ambuka is on Facebook, so what bishop is this? No. Let me. God, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, forgive me, I'm a sinner. That's all I can say.
We are all sinners. We live by the grace of God. All right, there's a small story here that perhaps I want us to look at, and then we can move on to something else, and perhaps we start looking at the week that was and what stood out for us, even as we revisit that conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Residents of Pai Village, Mashuru Sub-County, were shocked yesterday morning after a newly launched 100 million Kenya shillings bridge collapsed. The bridge was constructed whose construction started in May 2020, was launched on February 17th by Governor Joseph Ole Lenku in a colorful ceremony attended by dozens of excited locals after nearly 2 years of waiting. The bridge connects Matapato, North, Mbirikani, and other areas in Kinyawa Poka wards. Following heavy rainfalls, the middle of the bridge caved in, and one of the residents there says it is unbelievable. 100 million Kenya shillings has been washed away down the river. The contractor must be held responsible for that. So I don't know. This bridge was just launched a couple of days ago. 100 million Kenya shillings. What should we be doing with such contractors, or what could be some of the remedies for shoddy
Put them on firing squad. Change the constitution of Republic of Kenya. Punish people, put deterrent measures to punish those who take money from projects of this nature and they fail to deliver. This bridge, materials that were used, Kenya should introduce what we call manslaughter, corporate manslaughter charges. A contractor who builds a building badly must be charged and serves the sentence. If your ship, if your car, if your bus, if your airplane is killing people, you pay people. If your contractor has built a bridge badly, Kenya must introduce laws. You must change. But when you bring laws and the changes in Kenya, they hate you. The biggest problem that Africa has is we hate someone telling you the truth. They will hate you, they will haunt you, they will bring you down. You can't build a bridge. Like now this contractor who built this bridge, which collapsed, 100 million. His family is in London, Washington, schools, better schools. Now today the war is in Ukraine. I have seen so many students, so many parents crying. They have taken their children to private schools in Ukraine. Have you seen very many struggling here? They bring the children. They were telling the Minister of Foreign Affairs on this television. Bring the, so you ask MP, kumbe yours is outside. Ours is falling on the bridge.
No, yours is protesting.
Is protesting. No, he's looking for an exit. That Ukraine airspace is closed and all roads is closed. So, the Kenya embassy, please help us. So this is when you find MP now crying for his own child. Now our children are on the bridge here. Look at this bridge. Is this not madness?
It has not even been used for even months. It's barely.
It curves
new.
in.
It caves in. Yeah.
Someone has done a shoddy job.
But something that, Doc, you've said that perhaps I'm maybe hearing it for the first time: corporate manslaughter, because we've seen buildings coming down.
Write it again.
And these people just get away with this.
Write it again.
There should be some.
Kenya
some
Constitution
punishment.
has no crime on corporate manslaughter. It is better to drive your car, die in your car, than to go in SGR. Because if that train collapses.
No, but we know with the SGR, the Chinese are still in control. So
yeah, but they should be. The Chinese are not driving Chinese.
But you know anything.
They are driving you.
But when you see when the roads that the Chinese have made, everything that they've done, it's really to perfection.
Fine.
To good standard. But what's wrong with our people and the way they do
our
things
people
sometimes?
Are liars. Our people, those who go to inspect these bridges, should be put on firing squad. Can I tell you one? People laugh at that Uganda you see. And I'm going to tell you a personal confession, a personal thing. We were coming from school in 1970. 1973, from Tororo Manjasa School, we had got our holidays to Case. We are going to Mbale, then look for where to go home. The taxi driver, we called them taxis. We came, there is a place on Mbale, Tororo Road called Magodes. There was a roadblock, a permanent roadblock there. Because that was the area assumed that rebels from Kenya come from those Tororo and pass through there to go towards northern Uganda. So they put a permanent roadblock there. That was during Idi Amin's days. So that roadblock, the driver came driving very fast. And we in the car were saying, but there is a roadblock ahead. Why are you driving fast? You will knock these people. He woke up, he started braking, you know, braking like this. The brakes made noise. Bus. The soldiers said, Mzee, come out. Lala chini. 24 strokes. Lala chini. Walilalisha driver chini hapo. Now we people who were walking inside the bus, the matatu, which we call taxi in Uganda, we were thinking we were safe. They also took us out. You are going to get two each. Do you know that is a deterrent for me? Me, when I sit in any car which is driving very fast, I tell you, please stop, I go out. I still remember those 2 cans that I got heavy. And I was being hit by Idi Amin men. You know, they used to be tall and huge. He hit me properly. Where Rudi Ndani? They beat our driver. They beat ourselves. So Ugandans grew up knowing, fearing. You know, there was that fear that wait, driver, please slow. Traffic kama na kusimamisha, we are going to be caned also. So isn't it time for Kenya to think of other ways of fighting this type of bridges collapsing?
I think it's about time, because how many lives have we even seen, being claimed by shoddy work? And
everybody, everybody is saying, oh, China, Singapore, we see where Singapore is. When I hear these leaders quoting Singapore, I feel ashamed. And I think I will tell Dr. Raila Odinga never to quote, because he ashames me now. Let Ruto quote, because Ruto doesn't know anything. But Dr. Raila Amolo Odinga knows that Singapore, they put people in jail. Life. And the Prime Minister said, you are my brother. Even his own brother who follows him, he said, I will pay school fees for the children, but you not come out to see mom. Where is Singapore today? That Prime Minister everybody quotes. Some of them who made serious crimes, firing squad, were killed. Everybody feared in Singapore to touch a pen, $1. And if you find a wallet in Singapore, it is returned.
Until today.
Until today. So viewers, if Kenya wants to move, they must change the constitution. They must put a biting constitution, a constitution that can bite. This constitution does not bite at all.
I think we are so much into the human rights, which is okay. We respect and have that. But I think some of these things we
but
have
you
to
don't
find
eat
ways.
Human rights.
We have to find ways that are
Medium,
punitive.
Human rights, a bridge is breaking, is also killing
Can
people.
you imagine? Can you imagine?
How do you eat human rights?
Okay, so we have to balance.
Balance the human,
balance.
What they call tampering. Is it tampering? Tampering.
Tampering with that. I'm being informed that the Jubilee Party NGC at KICC and ODM NGC meeting at the Bomas of Kenya is currently underway. So maybe we give our
There's one comment that I wanted to make.
Okay.
before we switch off to that beautiful football. FIFA has banned Kenya. And I've been telling my Kenyan friends and the Zimbabwean friends that please get out of these organizations. How can the government help football? Then the man steals the money. Then FIFA comes to say, don't touch him, but we shall discipline him. If you don't, if you do, we shall ban you from the place. It is time for Kenya to think about these international organizations. They don't want to get out of ICC. They don't want to get out of FIFA. Now you can't, even if you play football, you are playing internally here. You can't even play with Uganda.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that the state where we are going? Ruto sends Mr. Mwendo a thief to steal here money for him so that they can do the campaign tomorrow. When you touch him, he writes a letter to FIFA, stop Kenya from football. There you are.
Okay. So perhaps, Daniel, very quick comments before we get on to the events that are happening right now at the Bomas and at the KICC.
We want to cross.
So just a quick comment, 1 minute each, over anything that perhaps you've talked about and maybe what stood out for you this week. I'll start with you, Douglas.
Yes, thanks. Okay. Douglas, you can start.
Thank you, Sean. The very issue about the Kajiado-Korapski Bridge is something that has really sunk my soul, and also I think we as a country, we are joking. As a country, we are not prepared very well how to deal with the aftermath of corruption medium, because that is pure corruption. You cannot tell us a contractor came and gave a bid of 100 million shillings to be able to construct that bridge in an area that is prone to flooding and in an area where bridges have been washed away before, even after doing his feasibility study, which actually cost money from the taxpayers. Miriam, the taxpayers are themselves in Kajiado County, or we the people of Kenya who bear the brand of the 100 million shillings, which comes from the National Treasury, which are basically our taxes. And if it are loans that are sent to the counties, this is the same money that we, the people of Kenya, continue paying in national debt or the foreign debt that we have as a country. We have not been able to come to a conclusive end in terms of how we engage our own countrymen and also our own companies that are involved in the construction of these bridges. Miriam, I have never had a problem with the professional bridges or construction sites that the Chinese people have been able to come into our country and be able to build through their various construction companies. Why? Because they commit themselves to, number one, professionalism, number two, quality work, number three, they make sure that we get value for our own taxes or our own money as a country. When the people of Kajiado expected their governor to go there, the same people who are doing oversight over the 100 million bridge. 100 million shillings medium is not pocket change, and if it's even pocket change, it's money that is meant to be taxes from the people of Kenya, that is meant to develop their areas and also make sure that we, the people of Kenya, get quality work and also get value for our own money. It is a shame, Miriam, for us as a country where people who are involved in quality assurance and also people who are involved in oversight of those projects do a shoddy job, receive kickbacks and also approve those projects. But now, thank God that this project has been able to be washed away so that we can be able to get cautions in future, Miriam, including those projects that are ongoing in this country. We need to be armed with an inspectorate department that can be mandated to continue doing oversight for the same projects in the country, Miriam. For example, the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure in Kajiado County, or the Department of Transport and Infrastructure, or public and public transport in Kajiado cannot be charged with the same responsibility of oversighting the same projects that they have awarded out. They can award those projects to private entities or government entities, but they cannot be charged with the same responsibility of inspecting the same job, Miriam. That job should be given to a special inspectorate department so that oversight and inspection of these projects can rely solely on them. So that when we have problems, we can be able to go to that particular inspectorate department in Kajiado County or in the national government and be able to get to the root of the matter. Because, Miriam, we cannot wash away 100 million shillings through a bridge that was shownly done and constructed, and then we expect that we, the people of Kenya, will continue dishing out our taxes to corrupt contractors and also politicians who continue preferring our public coffers for their benefit and for their own good, whereas our welfare as a people and as a country is neglected. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Wesonga. Daniel? Okay, we seem to have lost Daniel there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And of course, the problem that we have as Kenyans is actually the problem of corruption. And whenever you see that bridge collapsing, and it cost actually to a tune of around 112 million, then you know someone was given money, but they in return did a very, very short job. They didn't want to invest more on the bridge. They actually spent less than that, because when you see the problem with that bridge, it was that structurally the support base under the riverbed was actually shallow, and that is why it was able to be swept by the water. So you see such kind of a thing, you realize that someone must have taken a cut out of the money that was given, and maybe spent half and half ended up into their pockets. So as a country, we should get serious. And being that this is an electioneering period, it is likely to have a big implication on the governor and the leaders who are involved in that particular tendering and maybe the construction of the bridge. So let leaders also take responsibility. When you award a tender for someone to be able to construct a project in your area of jurisdiction, make follow-ups to know that this person is doing the right job. Sometimes you might find out even the governor is not aware of was not even aware of the shoddy job that was going on behind the scenes. And this is because in Kenya, everyone believes that corruption can happen at any level of government, and therefore they believe that if so and so is stealing money from the government, then why not me? So you find that even junior officers in the county also are involved in massive corruption. And I believe that is the biggest, the most unfortunate thing about devolution. Instead of devolving good things from the national government, we also ended up devolving corruption. So, Miriam, it's a bit unfortunate, and I believe our agencies, the EACC, the DCI, will be able to probe such kind of a scenario and be able to bring culprits on to book at the end of the day. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. Doc, any last words before you?
Yeah, I think while we are on air, Ukraine has followed my advice to do dialogue with Russia. I salute myself from last night. Dialogue, containment is the only route. Russia will close the pipe. Britain will freeze. The whole of Europe will freeze Aki. This dialogue. There are more consequences than heaping sanctions. America is very far. It has its gas. It has its heat. So thank you very much, the president of Ukraine. The presidency has just announced there is room. They want to do peace talks and dialogue with Russia face to face to end. So America was rushing to put sanctions. Kwa nini?
So that means also because the main thing that really triggered this new war was, the NATO was willing to, because Ukraine wanted to join NATO and
but
Russia was not very happy. That means they will have to stand back with that.
Medium, these people speak the same language. You remember, they were under one Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Someone has come and put the gun here. Naangalia huko kwa bedroom. Are you going to be safe to sleep?
So they will not be admitted. So
no. Tuambiane ukweli
NATO will
jameni.
have to hold on. Yeah, because that is what really triggered this new conflict outside of what has been existing.
Let's explain to the people the truth. Each country, each person has an opinion. My opinion is the only way to have this conflict resolved without more people dying, without more people freezing in the cold in Europe, is dialogue and containment. I don't know why these countries have refused. Already we have people who have bought their football clubs in London. They have been prohibited from coming because they are Russians. So what a mess. We are bringing a mess to our countries. So we Africa, we want to join the league.
And also at this point, I think China is just sitting there waiting to see if at all, how this will work out and see if they will invade Taiwan.
Course.
Taiwan, we know how they've been acting up there.
It will go. China can even surround Taiwan, and America will cry.
It's interesting times.
Yes.
So dialogue always.
No, medium. Before we leave our viewers, from the time Americans left, I have been a staunch supporter of America up to today. Not up. From the time they left Afghanistan with their trousers half naked, I have never given them any support again. How do you hand over a country to...
That exposed the vulnerability.
Yes. How do you hand over a country to terrorists, to kill people whom you went to help?
But now they're stranded there. Now the Taliban, they understand now they need the international community to run business in their country. So now they're starting to double down on their activities.
On their brutality.
Because now the economy is literally crippled. But that is a story
What
for another
economy?
time.
This was carrying
Afghanistan.
cocaine. Afghanistan was for cocaine.
They discovered guns only cannot bring food to the table for Afghans.
Yes.
They require the rest of the world to be okay.
They will start selling cocaine.
to America.
And a bangi, marijuana. Those Everest mountains, they like marijuana. It grows in big numbers. So they will export. Well, no, you tell me, how do you run away and hand the country to the same terrorists to go and slaughter people? So people lost confidence in America. So if America, have you seen, yesterday Joe Biden was asked, are you going to put some, Mr. What is his name? Mr. Putin on sanction list #1? He said no. But why did you put Mugabe on sanction list?
Because, I mean, what does the U.S.
Because
want to
Mugabe is
lose?
black man.
Yeah.
Because Mnangagwa is black man.
You know the high stakes when it comes to, Russia.
No. Africa
stakes
will
are higher.
disagree on this one.
And
you can
what-
hate me. So what? But they put Mnangagwa on high list.
Yes. Because,
Mugabe on high list.
yeah.
Because he's black. Now yesterday, this my Joe Biden could not put.
But Russia is not your ordinary African country, you understand. The stakes are high there, so they have to be very careful, and they don't want to start another war while they're trying
Not
to
even a
fight
war.
others across the
They will
world.
just switch off the tap for 2 days.
So
let Russia just switch off the pipe.
So
even Ukraine will die.
The price tag there is really high.
Ukraine itself depends on the gas.
So diplomacy, I think, that might help in this.
That's the only way to resolve the problem. Thank you
right.
very much. Medium, thank you. We cross over to National Delegates Conference of the...
ODM has the NGC
Yes.
at the Bomas, and then Jubilee Party also has the NGC at KICC.
So let's cross over.
To one of those.
Yeah, we shall leave you with those programs. Our engineers will do that. Otherwise, for us, we meet on Sunday here. It is going to be hot. And I hope Wesonga will be somewhere in Azimio camp, this time with uniform. You lied to us that you are going there. Now you are not going there, boss. Are you going to be there, Mr. Wesonga?
Today is for special people, those ones who are party members.
Yeah, on Sunday. Don't dodge the question. Sunday, Azimio.
On Sunday, I'll try as much as possible.
Not to try. We want you to report from inside. Outside. In fact, you can go and stand outside.
Yes.
Yes. You are a very senior member of one of the parties. Why are you hiding your party?
All right.
My party is paving me.
Is Kalonzo joining, by the way?
Possibilities are true. So, are there high possibilities?
I have never.
Shall we?
But he is going to join.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching. This has been the week that was Friday edition. Of course, we have to cut our live here short because we have to take you over to those very important events that are happening. One at the Bomas of Kenya and the other one at the KICC. My name is Miriam Mogutu, and together with Dr. David Matanga, we shall see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye from us.
Ciao.
They consider themselves old men. We have provided for the youth league up to the age of 35. But we have got an age group from the age of 35 up to 45 who have got very special needs. It has now transpired. So a special league has been created for this group aged between the 35 to 45 years. Makofi. And lastly, in respect of the Constitution, we have now provided for branch chairs of the leagues to be members of our National Delegates Convention. Those are the changes that we have made to the Constitution, and if you've had the opportunity to look at our website, a copy of the Constitution is posted on our website. The second thing that we did was to review our election and nomination rules. And I'd want to state that I think one of the things that came out very clearly in the task force report was that we have had challenges on how we conduct our party primaries and nominations. We have now provided very clear methods of how we can conduct our party primaries and nominate our candidates for various positions. Now, as you may have heard, we have now proposed 4